And how does that affect, other than what happened, the tragedy that it was, how does that affect the economy? That doesn't affect the economy.
Oh, I think it had to. And I'm not defending Bush. I think he's stuck as a president. I'm just saying
there's nothing to defend. The man had no record. Okay? Nothing. I mean, he was a nice guy. He was the kind of guy you'd want to go into a bar and have a beer with. That's what most people said. You know, but push come to shove, you don't want somebody like that running your country.
That's true.
He made promises he couldn't keep. He brought us into a war in Iraq that we had no business going. Everybody knew the fight should have been taken to Afghanistan from the beginning. And he never got Osama bin Laden. In fact, when he was asked about Osama bin Laden around 2005, which was well into his the beginning of his second presidency, you know, his term in office, he said, "I don't think very much about him." How can you not think very much about a guy who masterminded the worst tragedy that this country faced since Pearl Harbor?
Well, I can't answer that. I'm not disagreeing with you. How do we start? Wait a second. How do we start talking about him?
Well, we were talking about something I read. You were talking about Obama.
Yeah, where was Obama in that list?
They didn't say anything about that. They just wanted to know. They asked people who was the worst president that they could remember. And the majority of people all agreed on George W. Bush. Okay?
Okay, who took
when you think about it, after 9/11, he had 70 to 80% of the country behind him. Look what happened from 2001 to 2008. Look at all the jobs that were lost. Look at the economy that went down the tubes, down the toilet.
I can't argue with you. And I don't mean to argue with you about it, because you're right. But let me ask you, where do you think Obama stands in being a popular president?
Well, I got to tell you, when you look at what he inherited and how he rescued the country, I mean, the next step for this country was a Great Depression. We were in such a deep recession, okay? If he didn't, get Congress to agree to TARP and to bail out the automotive industry and slowly but surely create jobs, and I'm not saying that we're where we should be, okay? But when you figure out that he took over a country with over 10% unemployment, okay, and little by little he pecked away at it. Now, granted, I'm sure that there are many people who are working in 2 part-time jobs because they can't seem to find full-time employment. I'm sure that many manufacturing jobs have been outsourced to Korea and other countries where they pay pennies on a dollar because they can't afford to pay.
You're a male, so.
How come I heard that?
You heard that?
I heard that. What happened?
Because you've been hearing everything for a while.
No, I haven't been hearing anything. I just heard that.
Yeah.
But in any event,
I want you to hear something.
No.
You didn't hear that?
No.
Oh.
But the point that I'm making here
But you heard that.
is, right now he's working on his legacy. I mean, presidents have tried to pass. Say what you want about Obama.
Welcome.
I heard that.
Uh-huh.
It needs tweaking. We know that. But the point is, more people have health insurance now than ever before. Okay? When you figure out that when he took office, Mitch McConnell said, on the day that Obama was sworn in, Mitch McConnell said, "My goal is to make President Obama a one-term president." And the Republicans, every step of the way, have said no to everything that he has tried to put forth and get passed. Okay? He has not had an easy 6 years. And I'm not saying he hasn't made some mistakes. He's not perfect. Okay? But when you think the direction that this country could have gone toward and how we are now, tremendous strides have been made.
It's true. I mean, the country, things have improved. Can't argue about that. But there's some other news stuff that I want to talk about. Now I'm beginning to forget what there was. We spoke about. I want to just say that I want to thank the government and all of our agencies involved in keeping this 4th of July a safe weekend for all of us.
Well, I would not be surprised. Well, first of all, technically it's not over, even though it's not the 4th of July anymore.
I said weekend.
The weekend was safe, but, these people could strike at any time. Okay? What they're worried about, we've discussed it, you and I, is a lone wolf attack. 1 or 2 people deciding to take matters into their own hands. Unfortunately, ISIS and Al-Qaeda are growing on the Internet. They are finding more and more young people who are disillusioned with what they see. I saw one young person who was fighting for ISIS say that if you can't come and fight and send money, do whatever you can to disrupt the country. The sad thing is that this is the new normal. That our children, our grandchildren, and probably our great-grandchildren will not know any kind of peace the way we did growing up. After the turbulent 60s, the Vietnam War, into the Watergate era of the 70s, once the Berlin Wall fell, there was relative calm in this country and in the world. I mean, the Middle East was always crazy.
Okay, I agree. Hey, Mark, let's get together our thoughts a little bit. Let's put on a song from iPluggers. The artists are called Cat, DeLuna, and Costi. And the song is called Always on My Mind.
Well, welcome to the craziest party. Put your hands up.
when I see your lips. I don't know why, craving one more kiss. I can't deny it. Burning love inside all through the night. Yeah. When I see your lips, I don't know why, craving one more kiss. I can't deny it. Burning love, burning love, burning love inside. Baby, you're on my mind. Baby, always on my mind. Baby, you're on my mind. Hold me in your arms tonight. Baby, you're on my mind. Baby, always on my mind. Baby, you're on my mind. Hold me in your arms tonight.
Always on my mind, baby. You're always on my mind.
Welcome to the craziest party. Put your hands up.
Put your hands up, but you're done, honey.
Put
Sorry.
your hands up. If you're feeling like you're crazy tonight.
Can't do it again. Once was enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Did everybody enjoy that? Is that a new talent that's going to be coming up? Rising soon? Who knows? But there's always a chance. We're always looking for new stars. And iPluggers is doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind everybody that wherever you broadcast, you're listening to us broadcast, you can hear us on Spreaker, Blog Talk Radio, iHeart, iTunes, TuneIn, YouTube. We are everywhere. So, but most important, what we really like is phone calls. We know we have listeners, but they're listening to our blog, but we're looking for more live listeners who want to call in and talk to us, which keeps our show going and keeps Mark and my interests up more. It's better than me and Mark arguing. So if you want to call in, please do. Our phone number is 646-595-3275. And if you are one of those shy people, we also have a chat room that's open. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have our first caller of the night. Good evening, caller.
Hi, good evening.
How you doing, Elisa? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Wait, I'm just trying to hold on one second. There we go. I'm feeling good.
Yeah, what'd you think of that song?
Good beat. I liked it.
You like the beat?
Yeah, I like music like that.
Yeah, well, you know, these are all new artists that are trying to make it in the industry, and you know, we're lucky enough to be able to play